So, a little while ago, I tweeted this out. If you don't like Destiny 2, just don't play Destiny 2. Now, I'll admit, it's hard to get the full context of a man's thoughts with just a 140 character limit. Is that 280 character limit thing ever happening? I don't know. Anyway, these words were interpreted a few different ways, one of those ways being Destiny 2 is undeserving of criticism, and if you don't like the game, you can piss off. To that I say, no. I was kinda surprised by even the small-ish number of people who dove right into the deep end with that one, assuming I had taken a stance of, we shouldn't criticize the game at all, it's fine the way it is. No game is immune from critique, and if I were suddenly dropped onto a throne of infinite power at Bungie, yeah, I'd make changes to the game based on my own opinions and hopes for the franchise. Mainly changes to how PvP matchmaking functions, adding more game types, adding more than just 2 playlists, bringing back Rumble, adding a ranked and unranked option, just more variety in general. Rest assured, these are the hottest takes that you'll find literally nowhere else on the internet. I could go on and on about what I personally would do differently if given the keys to the Bungie castle, but the point is, yeah, I'm not saying that Destiny 2 shouldn't be critiqued, adjusted, improved, whatever you want to say. What I am saying is that there's a lot of people out there, and man, I mean a lot of people, who I've seen complaining online almost literally every day about how much they dislike Destiny 2. And if you've reached a point where you're spending every day bitching about how you don't like this game, then my partial advice to you is, well, don't play the game. If you really don't like it that much, then why are you torturing yourself? Don't play it. Don't turn it on. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't voice your opinions on the game. It's a good idea to share your thoughts if your goal is to change the game. No matter how much we like to circle jerk on the internet about how Bungie doesn't listen, they've shown in the past that they do have the ability to listen to community feedback and make changes accordingly. Now, some of you right now are probably thinking, yeah, well, they've also made some changes that we didn't want, and they've made some things worse. Again, if the game is pissing you off that much, and at the same time, you're not seeing the game take shape through enough changes to turn into the game that you personally want it to be, then don't play. And aside from saving yourself the mental headache of playing a game over and over that you don't find fun, not playing actually helps you another way as well. And that is by actually showing with more than just words that you're looking for something different. You all know who Gordon Ramsay is, right? Of course you do, he's fucking awesome. There's a really great thing that he says/yells at people on Kitchen Nightmares or in interviews, wherever. People vote with their feet. Let me give you an example of what that means. If you go to a restaurant and have a shitty overall dining experience, or you just don't like the food, are you likely to go back? Probably not. You vote with your feet. You could go back to the kitchen and tell the chef that the turkey is dry as hell, but it's way easier to just say, yeah, I didn't like that food. Let's go to Popeyes next time. You vote with your feet. For the restaurant, customers voting with their feet provides them with pretty important information. Something is wrong and they need to start doing something differently. If night after night they're losing so many customers that the business begins to fail, you better believe they're gonna pay attention. Now, imagine this. You go to a restaurant and you hate the food. You complain every day about how the food is a letdown, and yet you continue to go in and eat at that same restaurant every night. You can probably imagine that the restaurant might have a difficult time processing those complaints. Hey boss, that guy just told me that this was the worst food he'd ever had. Should we change the menu? Why would we? He keeps coming back every night no matter what. So yeah, you vote with your feet, but again, that doesn't also mean that you shouldn't voice your thoughts on the matter. That being said though, this brings me to my next talking point. Don't be an asshole. Look, as a consumer, you should feel that you have the right to give feedback based on what you've spent your money on. Your complaints will be taken so much more seriously though if you're not a total ass about it. When you constantly spew out overly toxic, shitty feedback right in the face of game developers, you have the potential to make things way worse for both sides. If you don't believe me, there's a really great series of tweets you should read from Charles Randall, a game developer who in the past has worked for companies like BioWare and Ubisoft. I won't read the tweets verbatim, that takes too long, but in summary, the tweets commented about how gamer culture is becoming so toxic, so know-it-all, that developers are pulling back from being candid with the public about how they make and shape their games, because no matter what gets done, there's always going to be a legion of angry, raging gamers ready to start fights and attack people at the drop of a hat. It all boils down to dumb headlines, misunderstandings, and harassment. One of the most recent and painful memories of this in our own community was when Deej shared a personal moment about the friendships that can be forged through gaming together, and a bunch of people instantly interpreted that as Deej saying, "Hey, the end goal is friendship, stop fucking complaining." This kind of shit doesn't just happen in the Destiny community, by the way. I've seen tons of bitter, angry Overwatch players cursing Blizzard up and down for any time they make a change to their favorite character instead of nerfing a character that player happens to hate. There's a fighting game that launched along with the Xbox One a few years back called Killer Instinct. The game was developed originally by Double Helix Games, but eventually Iron Galaxy Studios took over the development of post-launch content. Lead combat designer for Killer Instinct, Adam Hart, eventually decided he had to stop going into Twitch chats and interacting with other players online after being continually harassed by toxic players every time he popped into a Twitch channel just to watch a tournament and enjoy the gameplay. The more you bite the hand that feeds you, eventually you're gonna stop getting fed. Again, before me saying that gets taken out of context, I'm not saying to not give feedback. I'm not saying to not share your opinion on what you would like to see different in the games that you play. Do it in the right way, though. At the end of the day, everyone wants the same thing. Both sides want the game to be the best game it can possibly be. And if at the end of the day, the version of Destiny 2 that Bungie believes is the best it can be, if that doesn't align with what you personally want Destiny 2 to be, well, then you know what to do. You give them feedback that they'll be more likely to listen to, and you vote with your feet. If you don't like Destiny 2, just don't play it. Well, I guess that's it for this video. Gonna be totally honest with you guys, I am straight up turning the comment section off for this video. I just know no matter what, it's probably gonna boil down into a bunch of pointless back and forth, eye poking, dogs and cats living together, and you know what? I'm not really feeling that. That might piss some people off, but whatever, it's my channel, I'll do what I want. Find me here and find me here. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. See you next time.